So, the Orlando Magic, we're going to do a slight deep dive into the Orlando Magic. I, for one, want to apologize to the Orlando Magic fan base because I drastically overestimated my win percentage for them, where I thought they would win around 32 games. I was wrong. I was optimistic. My bad. But with that said, the young pieces for the team has been playing well, primarily in the past week or so since Cole Anthony returned. Now we know Jalen Suggs went down, but how excited were you that Cole Anthony came back and made an immediate impact this week?
Uh, well, especially leading up to his injury. I mean, we saw flashes of what he could do last year, but still, he's a rookie. He's getting a huge load dumped on him with Fultz being out, and that's not having really anything else, especially after the trade. So, I mean, the trade of sending Aaron Gordon and Vucevic and and Fournier,
Right.
gone. So the highlight of this season by far has been Cole Anthony, for a Magic fan in my eyes. So it's like we have 5 wins. We have no Fultz still, no Isaac still, with no immediate or timetable for their return. Like we know it's soon, but that's all we're getting. So soon. Um, we don't even know how that's going to translate to on-court chemistry. So just because we get them back doesn't mean we're going to have immediate success. But Cole Anthony is the only bright spot on the season thus far. Yeah, it's nice watching the development and watching before he hurt his hand this week. Suggs develop. Wendell Carter Jr. playing a bigger role on this team, and like seeing him thrive. And probably the biggest surprise is just how well Franz Wagner has translated to the NBA game. It just seems like already he has such a high knowledge for the game that he's always kind of making the right play. He can score, he can play defense, he plays the smart game. And but if it wasn't for Franz Wagner and the biggest bright spot, Cole Anthony, it would be hard to get excited about any of these games right now. Injuries still seem to be the big story with the Magic. Yeah, we just got Cole Anthony back. Thank God he was only out for a week or a week and a half, something like that, because him being on the court is the only bright spot.
Right.
And it's what fuels the team. If he doesn't play good, we don't win. I mean, we're not winning anyways, but we're definitely not in the games where he's not having a great game. So seeing him develop this fast and to embrace it, the kid is just exudes like winning personality. His post game interviews filled with the same energy. The Magic needed a big cultural guy like that to bring the want to win. It seems like from especially the tweets from his dad recently giving a kind of insight to his how he was viewing his situation coming up from high school to college to the pros, and how he feels a little bit slighted by some of the situations, and stepping up and proving to everyone that he was worth all of these things, and justifying his positions. It's impressive, and it's something I've wanted to see for a long time. It's something that we thought we'd get out of other players. And Cole Anthony is showing that we're going to get everything that we need from him in that perspective. And he's thriving. I mean, having a great season. So I can't praise him enough. Um, if if the Magic don't completely embrace Cole Anthony and Franz Wagner, then something is very wrong, because they've shown that that's what you want. That's everything you need out of your young players and to build around going forward. Suggs, nothing about what Suggs has done so far bothers me. Like I didn't expect a rookie like him to just come in and be doing the kind of things that Cole Anthony is doing. I didn't even think Cole Anthony could put together like a string of games, like averages, like what he's doing this year. I just thought that'd be a lot to ask of a second year player, especially one that I think came into the league not really playing point guard as much, but being more of a shooting guard. And I mean, for me, it's everything that has excited me about the Magic season has been out of those two guys, Anthony and Wagner. And um, I mean, the Magic aren't winning games. We're not going to win for a while. But if we can just get Fulton Isaac back and see what we're even close to at being healthy, that's what I'm waiting to see, because you just add those two guys and you add Cole and Wagner back into that, then we can really start hanging, I think, with some of these, I guess, even middle of the pack teams, because right now there's a couple bright spots and that's it. So it's a little disappointing, but again, injuries seem to be the story, and but we definitely have some building blocks going forward that I think every Magic fan should be excited for.
Yeah, and even excuse me, even Mobamba's been having this is the best I've ever seen him play. I
I
think he's
forgot. Yeah, I didn't even
yeah,
mention him. Like, great season so far.
yeah, I
Everything we
think
could ask for in a big defensive center.
yeah, he's averaging a double double. He's shooting threes. He's doing everything. Um,
Yes.
we talked about this briefly yesterday and said we are going to hold it for the podcast. The tweet from Greg Anthony, when once I saw it circulating, the part that I didn't like, and and he didn't mention him by name, but just when he was like how the Magic drafted someone with the number five pick. Um, Not to say they shouldn't have drafted him, but just to say, hey, you already have a good guard here. Why did you draft another one? So that's the part that I didn't like. But just to do a comparison, last year Cole got rubbed after the trade deadline when those guys were moved, Vooch and Gordon and Fournier. But for the season, he averaged 27 minutes a game, 13 points, along with 4 assists and almost 5 rebounds. This year, he's upped that to 20 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game. So he's playing fantastic basketball right now. Um, as far as Suggs in his rookie year, his numbers are comparable to what Anthony did last year, which is actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's setting himself up to have a good second year in the NBA. Let me pull this up real quick. So right now, for his rookie year, Suggs is averaging, and let's say he's not a knockdown shooter right now. He hasn't adjusted well to the speed of the NBA. But right now he's averaging 12 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Very similar to what Cole Anthony did last year. Okay. So, like you said,
Hmm.
I know you said you're not worried about Jalen Suggs at all. I'm not worried about Jalen Suggs at all. He just needs to, once he figures out the speed, I think the little knick-knack injuries he's had will calm down because he's missed a game here or there due to injuries because he's always falling on the court. He plays really hard, like a young Dwayne Wade did. Once he figures out the speed of the game, those things will stop, and I think that's when he will settle into his shot. Now, I'm I think Fultz is expendable. I just do. I know Magic Nation loves him. I don't care. He's expendable. You move forward with Isaac. You move forward with Mobamba, Wagner, Suggs, and Cole Anthony. That's going to be your team going forward. And I think for the first time in a long time, the Magic has multiple good pieces because outside of the last team where you really had 3 good pieces, you have upwards of 6 good pieces right now. So I think there's building blocks for Orlando to gain momentum off of, especially going into next season when we hope that you guys are going to be healthy.
Yes. Yes, I completely agree.
Also, the Magic has drafted, of course, every team drafts young talent. The Magic has drafted a lot of young talent, but what they haven't necessarily had were guys who are like bulldogs. Aaron Gordon, you can call him soft. Vucevic, you can call him soft. Fournier, you can call him soft. You can't call Cole Anthony soft. You can't call Wagner soft. I saw Wagner go toe to toe with Bam one night. Those guys give a
Absolutely.
those guys give a shit, right?
Yes.
Um, and it brings an energy, especially on the defensive end. It brings an energy that everyone can feed off of. All you need is one of those guys, and you mentioned the culture earlier. You're right. All you need is one of those guys to completely change the culture of a team, and I think you guys have that now. So I'm excited for the first time in a long time as a Heat fan. I'm excited to watch my little brothers and see what they do in Orlando because I think you guys are going to be good.
Yes. I'm a little more optimistic in wanting to try and at least give Fultz a shot at being healthy with this team because I think with some of I think with what some of our guards, even the young ones, are capable on the offensive end,
Hmm.
I could see there at least being um, ways to utilize all of them together, or add some minutes to the bench and add some extra firepower there too. I at least want to see what the experiment looks like before I completely count that out. But I'm with you in the sense to where if I'm Cole Anthony, the acquisition of Suggs is just a more insurance at like getting a young guard that has promise because so far Fultz can't stay healthy. Fultz is the one that should feel like he has to really show what he can do or he's on the way out. If I'm
Hmm.
Cole Anthony, I'm not looking at it as like if you're worried about your job, I'm not as worried about it as I would be if I was Fultz to me
Right,
because
right.
that's just added insurance. And he's the oldest guard. He's the one that's had the issues. He's the one that's older. To me, it's more of like pressure on him than Anthony. Anthony is just too dynamic. Uh, Already, we know he's probably a more offensive threat to score than Fultz could be. Like Fultz just doesn't have that kind of shot. We know he's developed a slightly better shot, but he's still not. He's not going to have the scoring pedigree that Cole Anthony has.
Hmm.
And Suggs is just so young and so dynamic. It's like you don't get rid of that either. So to me, it just seems like Fultz is the one on like the block, but not it shouldn't be tons of pressure yet. I feel like, but if it's me, I'm thinking he's the one. He's the odd man out of that guard situation. So
Yeah,
we'll see, but I don't think it should be like immediate. Like we have to get rid of him now.
no, he's going to have half of the season. Let's say he comes back
Yeah,
this season. He's going to have the remainder of the season to show what he has. But I think the damage has already been done from the standpoint of the two guys that you have now. Like you said, Cole Anthony is dynamic. We knew he was dynamic last year. We knew he didn't give a shit about any
yeah,
other team last year. We knew that, and now it's carried over to this year. And like I said, Jalen Suggs, you had to make that pick at 5. You
yeah.
had to. Once
Of
he
course.
dropped that low, you had another example. I'm not saying he's Dwayne Wade. I'm not saying he's going to ever be Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was picked up with the fifth pick in Miami when he dropped down, and we didn't think we were going to get him. Did we have a room for him on the roster? No, we had an established guy there at his position. But you know what? We drafted him anyway. That's why he played point guard his rookie year because we didn't know where to put him at. But when you have a player that's that dynamic, you have to bring them in when they drop to you. So the Magic absolutely had to draft Jalen Suggs. Absolutely. Now, we're not saying these guys hate each other. No, as far as we've seen, they love each other. Absolutely love each other. So when Foltz
Hmm.
comes back, that's going to be his audition. Either I'm going to play well for this team or they're going to ship me out. He's going to be shipped out in the offseason. That's just my bold prediction because that has to save his career. Because outside, if he comes back and doesn't play well, he's going to be out of the league.
Hmm.
He's going to be out because his rookie contract's going to, well, no, he's on the, he got an extension, but he is going to be out of the league at the end of this contract, which I believe is another 2 years, if he doesn't prove that he can be dynamic on a consistent basis. Plus, his ego is going to take a hit when they bench him because he's not going to come back and be a starter. These two guys are the starters now. You can't shake that up.
They definitely have some decisions to make when he gets
Yeah,
healthy enough to get back on the
yeah.
court. So
Because
it's going to be up to Mosley to really figure this out.
Well, you already run a simplistic offense, so therefore you're definitely not going to have enough balls for these guys because your offense is simplistic. And I understand why Mosley is doing that because one, he's a defensive coach, so he wants these guys focusing more on the defensive end, which is why for the most part they're in every game. I still think they need to dial back the 3-point shooting, but again,
Yes.
defensively, the Magic are in every game, which is a good thing going forward. So I know you want Fultz there. I know Cortez wants Fultz there. I just think he's going to be out of there in the offseason. So, but the overall prognosis for the Magic is a very, very, very bright future, and the fan base deserves that due to the crap that's happened in the last 10 years. So,
One real quick, one bright side to, I mean, even if we have to trade Fultz, um, Fultz could help a lot of teams out if he's healthy. You
mhm.
know, he does know how to run an offense. I mean, he's not a knockdown shooter, but he knows how to get people in their spots. He knows how to use his talents on the court. He knows how to pass the ball well. You know, it's not like he's not useful. I just think it'll come down to his fit and how healthy he is. And even if it's not perfect for the Magic, he might be able to help another team out. We could still get something of value. It's not like Fultz is going to play okay and we're just going to get rid of him for nothing, you know. So either way, you know, it's a kind of a win. Either we get him back and he fits with everyone, or we get something of value for him. I think the only way it's really bad is if he gets hurt again. So,
I think Fultz ends up in Houston. I think John Wall ends up in Orlando. You heard it first here. What's so funny about
well,
that?
we'll see. I just
What's so
would never. I just
what's so
that
funny
came
about
out of
that?
left field. I haven't heard you talking about him to Houston. I haven't heard you say anything about that. And you know, I used to be. I mean, I've always been a fan of John Wall. It's just like he's kind of sitting
I,
out there with nothing to do.
that's
So
what
I
I'm
don't know
like.
what
That's what
he's.
I'm saying.
I
Like,
don't know
what's
what
so
he's
funny
capable
about
of.
that? I would love to get John Wall on the Heat. Are you kidding me? So they're at a stalemate. He's told Houston he wants to play. Houston's like, no, you're not playing. We're just going to sit you and develop these young guys. He needs to be playing. He did well last year. So he has $90 million left on his contract, but he's hoping Houston can buy him out so he can get the hell away from there. Um,
Do you
I
think
don't know.
he can still? What kind of role do you think see him playing? Like,
I,
well, like the
I,
Derrick Rose
yes.
role, or do you think he should still be starting running an
Mm.
offense?
No, I see him as a Derrick Rose in Derrick Rose role. Yeah. He's not
Yeah.
durable enough. He's not durable enough to start on an 82 game season
Mm.
anymore. He's just not that durable. But coming off the bench in impactful minutes, oh yeah, absolutely. Like I would love to have him in Miami. I'm not going to give up anybody for him. So like if they buy him out, yeah, we'll take him for the vet minimum. But you guys can use Fultz as a trade chip. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Mhm.